Welcome to Channel Embrace Love with Stoic Wisdom. Let me ask you something. Have you ever pulled away from a woman thinking she'd come running back? You gave her space, you stopped texting, you held back your attention, hoping she'd suddenly realize what she lost. But instead of chasing you, she vanished into the silence. It stings, doesn't it? You're not alone. A lot of men go through this, quietly confused and frustrated. You followed the playbook, you did what you thought would work. But now you're stuck in this strange in-between where nothing seems to make sense. Let me tell you something real. This moment isn't your failure. It's your awakening. Because when a woman doesn't chase you after you've pulled away, there's more going on than you think. It's not just about attention. It's about value, connection, emotional power. And today, we're going to break it all down. No fluff, no games, just the truth. You've been needing to hear from someone who's not here to judge you, but walk this journey with you. Let's talk about why she still won't chase you, even after you've ignored her. And more importantly, how to rise from this moment stronger, wiser, and in control of your story. All right, if you're ready, let's dive in. Number one, if she's not chasing this, if she's not chasing this, might be. Why might be? Why, let's start with the tough truth. And I need you to really feel this one. She's not chasing you because in her heart, she doesn't see you as worth chasing. Now, listen, that doesn't mean you're not a good man. You probably are kind, respectful, loyal. But here's the thing. Being a good guy isn't rare anymore. It's expected, it's everywhere. And to her, that's not enough. What she's really searching for is a man with emotional gravity. A man who walks with purpose, not just potential. A man who knows where he's going and doesn't ask for permission to get there. She's watching how you move, how you handle pressure, how you respond when the world tests your limits. Are you the kind of man who stands firm in his values, or the kind who bends at the slightest pull of attention? In Stoic philosophy, this is called arete, excellence of character. Not perfection, not performance, but a steady, unwavering strength that can't be faked. You either embody value or you don't. And if all you're doing is pulling away, ignoring her, hoping she'll suddenly feel your worth without any real substance, behind that silence, it's not power, it's noise, static, empty air, because women don't chase games, they chase feeling. They're drawn to men who awaken something inside them. Curiosity, admiration, emotional pull. Not because he's mysterious, but because there's something real in him. She can't quite define, but can't look away from either. So if she's not chasing you, maybe it's not her fault. Maybe you're not offering anything different, anything real. This isn't about being flashy, it's about being undeniable. And that starts with you. Who are you when no one's watching? What do you stand for? What makes your presence unforgettable? Because when you are that man, you won't have to chase and you won't have to play games. She'll feel the difference and she won't want to look anywhere else. Number two, predictability kills attraction. Now, even if you start becoming a man of real value, there's another trap that sneaks in quietly. You're too predictable. You want her attention. You want her to notice. You chase you, but she already knows every move you're going to make. You're always the first to text. You're always available, always agreeable, always safe. But here's the brutal truth. Predictability kills excitement, not just in romance, in life. We're not drawn to what's easy to figure out. We're pulled toward mystery, tension, the unknown. And she's no different if she knows exactly what you're going to say, if she can predict your next step before you take it. She stops wondering. And when she stops wondering, she stops caring. Now, don't get me wrong, consistency is noble. But when consistency turns into routine, and routine turns into boredom, you lose your edge. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't act as if you'll live 10,000 years." Translation, live with boldness. Shake things up. Let her feel that you're alive and fully present in your own story. This isn't about playing games. It's about having depth. layers, surprises be the man who's steady but not stagnant, predictable in your integrity but not in your rhythm. Let her wonder. What's he thinking? What's he planning next? What is it about him that I can't quite figure out? You don't have to be mysterious just for the sake of it, but you do have to be multi-dimensional, not just reliable, but interesting. Not just consistent, but occasionally unreadable, because curiosity sparks desire, and desire creates the chase. If your life feels like a closed book, she won't read past the first chapter, but if each page reveals something new, something sincere, something unexpected, she'll keep turning. Then not because you asked her to, but because she wants to. So shake off the script, change the rhythm, be solid but not obvious, and watch how the energy shifts when she no longer knows exactly what comes next. Number 3, no investment, no chase. No investment, no chase. So let's say you've started building real value, you've stopped being so predictable, you've got depth, presence, mystery, but still, she's not chasing. Why? Because she's not emotionally invested yet. You see, attraction is quick, it's visual, instant, surface level, but emotional investment that's built moment by moment with intention. If all you've shared are shallow laughs, random memes, or physical chemistry, then when you go silent, it doesn't feel like a loss. It just feels like nothing. She's not pulling away to play games, she just hasn't formed a connection deep enough to care if you're gone. And that's where most men go wrong. They confuse her interest with investment. But the truth is, a spark without substance dies fast. Stoicism teaches us that authentic connection is everything. A relationship that lacks depth is like a house built on sand. It won't hold up when the tides shift. So ask yourself honestly, have you really let her see you? Not the charming version, not the highlight reel, but the real you have. You made her feel safe in your presence. Have you listened, not just to reply, but to understand? Have you been calm, grounded, patient, present? Or were you trying to impress her? Hoping that would be enough, because if there's no emotional glue, your silence doesn't stir her heart. It doesn't leave her wondering. It doesn't make her miss you. It just becomes one more message. Left unread. Women invest emotionally in men who offer more than attention. They invest in men who create space for depth, space to be vulnerable, to be seen, to be heard. And if you never created that space, then your absence won't echo, it'll be forgotten. So here's the hard truth. My friend, before you expect her to chase, ask yourself, did I ever give her something real to hold on to? Because until a woman feels emotionally tethered to who you are, your silence is just silence. It doesn't pull her in, but when you've made her feel something meaningful, a connection she can't find in anyone else, that's when the chase begins, not because you pulled away, but because she no longer wants to imagine life without that connection. Before we dive into part number 4, we'd like to take a moment to thank you for staying with us. Halfway through this video journey, in every moment, we can learn and grow, and the fact that you are here listening and reflecting with us is a tremendous gift that I cherish every minute to help us spread these valuable lessons to even more people. Please hit the like and share buttons for this video. Each share is a small but meaningful act, much like the timeless lessons Stoicism offers. Let's continue exploring and embracing these everlasting pieces of wisdom together. Once again, thank you for your continued support. Number 4, you're not the only one. One, by now, you're starting to see the bigger picture. This isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. And here's another truth. Most men don't want to face. She's not waiting for you. She's not staring at her phone wondering if you'll come back. She's not counting the days since your last message. She's living her life. And believe me, she has options. Instagram DMs, dating apps, social events, co-workers, old friends, new followers. Her world is full of opportunity. And in that world, you're not the only one who's pulled back. You're one of many. Now, does that mean you have to compete with every guy in her inbox? No, but it does mean you have to stand out, and not through louder messages or cleverer lines, but through something far more rare. Today, emotional self-mastery, the way you carry yourself, the way you lead, with quiet confidence, not insecurity, the way you listen, not to impress, but to truly understand the way you move through the world, with purpose, with peace, with power. That's what Stoicism teaches us, that no matter what's happening outside, who's texting her, who's showing off, you stay rooted, you don't fold, you don't chase, you don't compare, you show her what life feels like when she's near you, not just exciting, but grounding, not just fun, but fulfilling. Because here's what most men forget. She's not choosing between you and them. She's choosing between ordinary and irreplaceable. And if your presence doesn't bring her peace, clarity, warmth, and challenge, someone else will. It's that simple. So, don't try to beat the other guys, transcend them. Be the one who doesn't just talk differently, but lives differently, who doesn't need to prove his worth because he embodies it. And when you do that, you won't have to pull away to get her attention. She'll feel the shift and she'll start asking herself the question you've been waiting for. What if I lose him? Number 5. She's not into you now. She's not into you. Now what? What I know this one stings you've done. The dance you tried. Giving space. You went silent hoping she'd feel your absence. But she didn't flinch. No texts, no questions, no chase. And now you're asking yourself, why? Here's the honest answer. She's just not that interested. Not because you're not enough. Not because you made a mistake, but because attraction isn't logical. It doesn't follow rules. It's not earned by effort. It's felt, or it isn't. And if she's not feeling it, then all the silent strategy or waiting in the world won't change that. But here's where Stoicism brings the light into a painful place. You are not meant to control the hearts of others, only your own. You see, the Stoics never promised us love, returned. They promised us freedom from attachment, from outcome, from illusion, as Epictetus said, know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly. That means know your worth, stand in your truth, and don't twist yourself into a shape someone else might find more appealing. Because if she doesn't see your value, that doesn't erase it. It just means she's not the one it's meant for. You weren't rejected, you were redirected, and sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't to try harder. It's to let go with dignity, to stop chasing chemistry that was never mutual, and to walk away, not with bitterness, but with clarity. You gave your heart. You stood with patience, you tried. That's enough now. It's time to release what isn't yours and open space for what is. Because the right woman, she won't need convincing. She'll feel the connection because she's looking for the very presence you've worked to become number 6. Her silence is a test. Her silence is a test. Will you pass or fold? Now, here's where things get tricky, because sometimes her silence isn't rejection. It's a test. She's not trying to play mind games. She's not trying to mess with your head. What she's really doing is watching how you respond to the unknown. Will you panic? Will you chase? Will you fall apart the moment her energy shifts? Or will you stay grounded, still, strong, stoic? You see, women, especially those who've been hurt before, need to know that you can handle complexity, not just when things are easy, but when they're uncertain, uncomfortable, unpredictable. This isn't about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally solid, calm in the storm, present under pressure if you rush in to fix the silence, if you flood her with messages the moment she pulls back, if you react to every cold breeze with desperate warmth, she'll see it for what it is. Fear, neediness, fragile masculinity pretending to be strength. So what do? You stand tall, you remain warm, but not desperate available, but not chasing. You show her that your attention is a gift, not a plea, that your love is intentional, not impulsive, that you're not here to win her approval, you're here to share your path with someone who's truly ready. This is where many men fail the test. They confuse temporary distance with permanent disinterest, and they abandon their center in an attempt to win her back. When in reality, all she needed to see was a man who didn't flinch, a man who didn't need to prove anything. So when she tests, you hold your frame not to manipulate her, but to show her, I'm not here to be chased or to chase. I'm here to build something real, and I can hold steady until you're ready. And when she sees that, she might just realize she's found a man worth chasing. After all, number 7, can you handle the fire? Can you handle the fire? Without flinching, let's take it one level deeper. Yes, some women want to feel like the prize, but even more than that, they want to see if you can handle the fire. She's not chasing, not because she's uninterested, but because she's watching. She wants to see if you can carry the weight of this dynamic without collapsing, without overreacting, without folding into insecurity or confusion. Because if she's truly worth having, she's going to bring challenge, moments of uncertainty, moments when nothing is said but everything is felt. And in those moments, she wants to know if you're the kind of man who can lead with stillness, not fear. How do you hold space when she retreats? How do you respond when her signals go quiet? Can you remain grounded when you're not in control of the outcome? That's what she's feeling out. That's what she's testing for, not to play games, but to find out if you're built for the emotional weight. A deep connection demands, because a stoic man doesn't crumble when things get uncertain. He doesn't react out of panic. He doesn't chase wildly just to feel secure, and he doesn't go cold and silent as punishment either. Instead, he observes, he adapts, he responds with calm conviction. He understands the energy behind the silence, and he knows, I don't need to chase this, but I also don't need to run from it. This isn't about ignoring her to prove your worth. It's about standing so firmly in who you are that she feels the gravity of your presence, even in your absence. Because when a woman senses that you can handle the chase, that you can dance in the tension without needing constant reassurance, something shifts in her. She sees strength. She sees leadership. She sees a man who doesn't need her approval, but welcomes her presence. And that's when she starts to lean into wonder, to chase. Not because you made her, but because you've become the kind of man who doesn't have to ask. You've shown her through patience, poise, and power that you're not begging for her light. You're already the flame. Let's be clear, ignoring her isn't conclusion magic. It's not a strategy that works on its own. It only matters if you matter first. So before you pull away again, stop and ask yourself, have I done the inner work? Am I someone worth chasing? Because Stoicism reminds us, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. If you're steady, present, full of purpose, the right woman will feel it. You won't need to convince her. She'll move towards you naturally, and if she doesn't, that's not your failure. That's just a sign she wasn't meant for this chapter of your journey. Remember, you're not here to be hunted or to chase. You're here to build a life so rich in meaning, so rooted in self-respect, that the right one won't want to look away. Thanks for joining Stoic Horizon today if this resonated with you. Don't stop here, subscribe, explore more of our content, and let's continue this Stoic journey together. Stay strong, stay grounded, and until next time, keep cultivating your inner strength. We'd love to hear your thoughts or suggestions for future topics. So drop a comment below. See you in the next video.